Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 55th episode of the PokéSells official podcast. I'm sorry, I'm stuttering. We're back after a 2-week hiatus. That's because of another podcast that we had recorded. Had to wait for it to get like some scheduling stuff and not licensing, but some stuff. We had to clear it, and so that's going to be coming out later. Anyway, we're back. And this week we have a very special guest, Ravyn, the other half of the Ritual Hits crew. So Andrew's other half, I guess.
Yes.
I'm stuttering a lot on this episode. My bad. But yeah. So you guys, we've done 2 episodes with Andrew. Make sure to go check those out after watching this one. And he's always been like, Rocco, you should have Ravyn on. And then I'm like, bet, let's have Ravyn on. And then I always forget. And then I was like, this week, I was like, you know what? It's probably a good idea to do that. Ravyn, welcome to the podcast. It's a pleasure to have you on. Just introduce yourself for those at home.
I'm Ravyn. I'm Andrew's wife. We've been married for 2 years, together for almost 4. I had no idea about really any of this Pokemon stuff or vending, and he got me into it and kind of fell in love with it from there.
There you go. That's awesome. So you say you didn't know a lot about it. So how was it like, I guess, while you were dating? Like, what's your Pokemon story? Well, we'll just start it with that. Like, how did you get into Pokemon?
I would say when I was still dating Andrew before we got married, we had kind of been playing Magic, opening packs, and then Obsidian Flames came out.
Yeah.
And we really wanted the Charizard because it was just kind of, he grew up playing Pokemon. I never did. I just kind of knew who Charizard was, being how popular Pokemon was. So I was like, yeah, sure, let's rip packs. Why not? It's cheaper than Magic. See what we can do. I think we opened like 4 booster boxes and never pulled that Charizard. Still to this day, we haven't pulled it for ourselves. We bought it and had it a few times in our case, but we have not pulled it for ourselves yet.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it just kind of, originally he was just opening the packs trying to get the chase hit. I was stealing the cute cards from his packs and kind of just started from there, because as an artist I was just really appreciating the art and different little cute little things here and there.
Yeah, that's awesome. No, Obsidian Flames is a great stuff. And I think it got, obviously not as many people maybe as like 151 or something like that, but I think it had like it being a Charizard, so it was really cool. That Charizard is awesome. I do like that Charizard. I have a deep affinity. Here, let me pull up my favorite Charizard card. But I have a deep affinity for a lot of the older like X and Y stuff, because that's kind of like when I started playing, or when I first got into Pokemon, when I moved back to Nashville. Oh, I love this card too. But I have a deep affinity for the X and Y stuff. This was not the Charizard I was trying to look at. Where is... No, not that one. But that was... here, this one. I love this card. And I actually had this Charizard in a PSA 1, and I was debating PCing it, but literally I had it in Chicago. So I picked it up in Chicago Collecticon, and then I had it, the whole show, whatever. And I was like, okay, I'll probably PC this when I get home. I've never had a card. It's my favorite. And then literally, I think one of the last sales I did was this card. Someone swooped by the table and wanted to buy it. And I was like, dang. But it's whatever. Yes, we'll allow that. But here, I think this is my favorite Charizard card. I love this card.
Oh yeah,
this Artie boy.
Flashfire.
Yes, go to Charizard. Anyway, that's awesome about y'all, and I think that's cool about Pokemon. Obviously, like, it's another thing that I think a lot of people can like obviously connect with, and I think it's really cool. Obviously, I don't have like a spouse or partner, like girlfriend or whatever, but I know that for all the people that like, I know that it's something that's like a cool connecting thing, because I've had it with like friends and stuff like that. If that makes sense. But it's really cool. You guys still haven't pulled that Charizard. That's crazy. How many packs have those? So you open those 4 booster boxes. That's like that's 36 packs. So it's 30, I think, right? 36.
Yeah.
Times 4. Dang. So how many packs have y'all opened?
Well, since then, I don't even know. Because at the time we were just going to our GameStop, and that was really all we knew about. We hadn't really ventured into game stores or anything like that. So we just kind of had the local GameStop, and being pro members or whatever they call it, we got our little discount and go in when they had tins and whatnot. But I can't say how many packs we've opened.
No, that's crazy, and that like attests to like not I guess the gambling side of Pokemon. I guess whatever you want to call it. But that's crazy. I'm not a big pack ripper. Max is a very big pack ripper. Other guy, but I'm not. I can't. That's cool. So that was what you said. That was like 2 years ago, right?
When would that have been? Yeah,
Obsidian Flames?
2023 probably.
Yeah.
Is that
I
when
guess that was
Obsidian
almost
came
3
out?
years.
I think so.
Let's look it up. When did Obsidian Flames come out? August 2023. So that would have been almost 3 years. Well, 2 years ago, essentially. That's crazy. So at what point? Because I know you guys started vending this past year, or no, it would be in 2025, 2024,
2025. I know the Nationals was like our third show, or no, PokéFest last year. The very first PokéFest was our like third show.
Okay, cool. So that would have been like beginning of 2025. So in that point, when, like, I guess in that point of you guys starting to open cards, right, in 2023 and the collecting, when did you, what's yours? I want to hear your side of the story, because obviously I've heard Andrew's side of the story, but what's your side of the story with like how you guys started selling, and then what have you enjoyed about selling Pokemon cards, or like what do you guys like enjoy about it?
I would say Pokemon specifically, because we started selling on Whatnot originally, and we were selling Magic, and then we swapped over to Pokemon because it was better margins. And from selling Pokemon, or from selling Magic, we kind of got burnt out of playing the game. So we wanted to swap it up so we could get back into Magic and enjoy that again, but also still have our card selling, because we did enjoy that as kind of like a secondary income. And then from Whatnot, we had kind of started noticing like the different fees and stuff that would get taken out, and even so more so kind of being, yes, you have a community and you're making a connection, but it's less personal than vending. And Andrew had been subscribed and watching to like Bulbasaur, Jar Chomp, and them, and had seen that, and I had never even really heard of a card show or anything. So it would have been September of 23. We went to Atlanta Collecticon just to visit, because we wanted to see if vending was something we could see ourselves doing. And from there, that being my first ever card show, it was very overwhelming. It was a very big space, a lot of people, a lot more walking than I ever thought was possible. And we just kind of fell in love. So then that was in September. We took the next 3-4 months to get everything around, and then started vending, and just kind of grew from there.
That's awesome. That's great. I have very, obviously, you know this, but yeah, I play Magic a lot now, and that's what I was saying before. Like, since we've been snowed in here in Nashville, I've been playing a lot of it, and it's a different, like, I want to ask you this, because obviously you guys have more experience selling it, because I know it's obviously a different type of crowd. Obviously, like, Pokemon is more like collecting, and it's like, well, obviously you have like ponchos and stuff like that, which are like super high end, like kind of like their own separate category. But most of the time it's like collecting, and low end, there's high end stuff, but like it's more family friendly, all that type of stuff. And Magic is obviously more of a trading card game. And I think that's interesting what you said about burning out. Like, I feel like, because I used to play Pokemon 2 a lot, and like the card game, and I feel like selling it also kind of did that, where it kind of like made me less want to play the game and focus more about the business side of it, just because, one, it was easier for my brain to like discern, like just go into one lane, and then two, it was like, when you're playing with like a deck, it's like, oh, this is like actual money. Like, I would much rather like put my money in something else, or have just put my money in more inventory to sell, and like put it in a commodity. But like, how was that? I guess you said like what did you guys notice? Because obviously you sold like on Whatnot. I don't see a lot of Magic vendors. I don't. There's like a couple guys that I know, but not like people that primarily just do Magic. What was it that you kind of like noticing between the two demographics?
Between the two demographics, I would say in Pokemon, it is a lot more collections
Mhm,
and people who appreciate the art or a certain Pokemon, whatever it may be. And then with Magic, it's about metas, it's about playability,
mhm,
it's about who can kill the other person the fastest, whatever you want to call it. And so that's kind of the difference. And even with Pokemon being a collection based thing or even the game, that's kind of your difference is it's do you want to focus on playable cards or pretty cards?
mhm,
And obviously like with Pokemon specifically, the pretty cards sell better than the playables because most people who do play the TCG are going to go to their LGS to get their playables
mhm,
or they're going to order from TCG.
mhm,
And so if you're trying to make money out of it, you're not really going to do that with playable cards. And
mhm,
even with Magic, it's the Magic community is a little bit harsher. Like they are very strong in their bases, which is great, but it makes it kind of hard to get into vending necessarily. Like we've had a couple Magic cards in our cases here and there. Like if we have something we take out of a deck and we're like, oh, we can just sell it. And if we put it in our case, it'll maybe sit there for a couple weeks until we're at a one-off show where
mhm,
someone's like, oh, hey, I play Magic. That's cool. I'll pick that up. And it's kind of just those one-off experiences you get.
mhm. Yeah, no, I think that's great, and yeah, definitely having the meta aspect. I think for me, obviously, something that I've done a lot of is TCG player. Knowing that, like, kind of in the Pokemon side too, it helps. It's like, oh, I know that this card. Oh, well, I don't have anything on me right now. Well, like, oh, I know this card's played in this specific deck, so it's good to put it on like TCG player because most of the time, like you said, people are going to look for competitive stuff on like a TCG player or another, or like an eBay or a local card shop or whatever it might be, as opposed to a card show, which is more focused on collecting. But yeah, I think, oh my goodness, excuse me. I think that that's like really, that's cool. And that's like really interesting. And cool. So what, how was, obviously I know you said there was a difference between like Whatnot. Yes, you have like an audience. Yes, you have like a fan, not a fan base, but you know, you had like a group of people. What was, when you guys started vending, did that kind of Whatnot base, like obviously Whatnot's everywhere, right? Like there's people from all over the place. But did anyone like know you guys from it, or when you guys started vending, you're like, hey, we're gonna be at this show, and you know, or whatever. If you want to find it, like, did you guys find people that you knew on Whatnot like in person, or was it kind of like, oh, like did they like how did that happen?
It was really divided
Mhm,
because even when we went from selling Magic to Pokemon, that was probably the biggest division in our audience we ever seen. Because
mhm,
you can ask a Magic player and they'll look down on Pokemon. You can ask a Pokemon player and they will say Magic's too complicated,
mhm,
which is very true. Magic has a lot into it. But we did have a couple people who were just collectors of both, so they kind of stuck with us. And
mhm.
even just some people who were more local to, like when we went to Atlanta in 24, we met up with a guy who we knew from Whatnot because he lived in Atlanta. And so
That's
he
cool.
brought us some cards and was like, hey, like, nice to meet you, etc. And we've even had, like, if we go up to Chicago, we know people up there from Whatnot, what have you. And we have our group of people, I'll say. Like, I wouldn't really say friend group, but our group of, like, our network
Mhm,
reaches pretty far. So when we do go to bigger shows like Collecticon, we do get to see all of our friends who we haven't seen in a while, and
mhm.
it's a good time, really.
That's cool. That's really cool. That's, and I was actually gonna hit on that afterwards, but like that's something that I love about Pokemon is like how much your net worth, not net worth, your network, sorry, your network is your net worth. That's what I was trying to say. But like how much it like plays into it. Because it's like really cool to know all these like different types of people. But like for example, me, like I've been able to, it helps the business, right? Like if you know certain people, like let's say I have like 1,000 bulk EXs. I know who to ship that, like offload that to if I need it right now. that's great, because if not, like you just have stuff lying around. It helps your business, it helps like relationships, it helps friend building. Let's say you're going to Atlanta, right? You know someone in Atlanta. Hey, I'm gonna go be at a show this weekend. Is it okay if I maybe like pay you like $20? I could like stay at your house, whatever. Like instead of paying a hotel, except like all that type of stuff is very awesome, and it's like very cool. And I think that's something that I love about Pokemon, because yes, it's a card game. Yes, it's a money. It's a business. It's all this type of stuff. But at the end of the day, like I think Pokemon is one of like the biggest ways to like just meet people, and like it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
a networking. Like it's amazing. Like I've met like doctors that love Pokemon. I've met real estate people, lawyers. I've met electricians. I've met people from literally everywhere and doing everything and anything, and we have this basis like because we love Pokemon, and it's like that's like how we connect and how we meet and all that type of stuff. And I think that's great, and I think that's really really cool. But that's awesome about you guys and Atlanta. I know you guys did do Atlanta Collecticon. What has been some of your favorite shows that you guys have vended at?
Ooh. Atlanta is probably my favorite that we have vended, just because of the scale of it, and even being, I wouldn't say my first time being at a bigger show, because we had vended Nationals, PokeFest, even the Lebanon show can get pretty busy.
Mhm.
But being at that level where you are constantly talking to someone, constantly on TCG looking up a price or negotiating, looking at eBay, alt, comps, whatever, it's kind of like an adrenaline rush through the whole day. It's just fun. I would probably say that vending Atlanta is what solidified me wanting to continue this.
Mhm.
Because we obviously have had the conversation many times, like, oh, do we want to get out? Like, do we want to sell our collection and just take the cash? Even like after shows where we didn't do as well as we thought we were going to, like, okay, if we're in a deficit, do we want to go like put our heads down and just grind through it and come back out on the positive side? Or do we want to let it kind of settle out and just move on with our lives, which we've had a couple of those shows in the past year, and just kind of coming to the conclusion after Atlanta and kind of coming out of Atlanta at a deficit, but at a positive in a business standpoint of, we want to do this. Like, this is only our first year. We've come this far in, even between vending Atlanta and starting vending, I think that was only like 6 months of us being vendors. So
Yeah.
us being like, okay, we were able to come this far in 6 months. How much farther can we come? How much farther can we go? And then kind of at the end of last year, we sat down and had a business meeting and just kind of set goals, set expectations for ourselves, what we're going to do, how we're going to achieve those goals, and even just for the future, like our biggest goal right now is within the next, I think we said 3 years max, we want to buy a house in cash because of vending. So that's what we're gonna grind towards for the next couple years.
Awesome. I think that's great, and that's awesome. And I love having those goals. Like having those big goals for me, like gets to like literally drives me to do it. And it's awesome. And seeing those like accomplish like all that type of stuff. And like working towards it is awesome. I love it. But yeah, no, I love what you said about like adrenaline rush, and that happens to me at shows. Like I don't want to say I become a different person, but like I just like light up, because it's like, oh, I'm doing this deal, I'm doing this, bam, 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 bam. All this stuff is happening. Oh, I need to walk over to this table, buy their stuff. Oh, I need to do this. I had some stuff for this guy that he needs to offload. Oh, you need to look for some vintage guy. You have some vintage cards you want to sell? Okay, cool. I know a guy with vintage. Let me walk you over. Like all this stuff is just happening. Like bam, 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 bam. All this stuff. Like money's being made, money's moving, stuff's happening like crazy. And it's awesome. It's great. And it's really cool. So I definitely get that. And yeah, that's great. I have a couple bigger goals for Pokemon. Obviously, like I need to get a car. I need to buy a car with Pokemon. And just some other like bigger goals. But I think that's great. And like definitely there's always for me something I realized is yes, you can have bad shows and yes, you can have all this type of stuff. For me, it's like every show has a specific like you have to take away like maybe it was more of a buying show, maybe it was more of a selling show, maybe it was more of a trading show, maybe you didn't do that good but you met some people that now you can do business with and you can like offload stuff to, like all this type of stuff. And I think that that is awesome and that's like definitely a huge plus on it. But yeah, that's great. I definitely haven't I've had those shows too where it's like it sucks. And or you go into a show thinking it's gonna be great and then it's like not good and then you're like, dang, that sucked. But it's part of the game. But that's cool. What let's see, what else I got? So you said like Atlanta like solidified you being like, oh, I want to continue doing this. What have been some of your favorite like aha moments, I guess? Or like your favorite like more moments like that. Like what have been some of your favorite moments while vending?
Ooh, there's quite a few because even as someone who is newer to the hobby, it's even just been like this last year for me personally has been a lot. Like I've grown a lot. And in vending, I've become a lot more social than I used to be.
Mm.
Like I was very, very much an introvert, did not want to do anything with people, didn't want to be seen in a crowd, nothing. But now, anytime we have a weekend off, I'm like, okay, but is there any show going on that we can go
Mhm.
buy? Like, let's get out, let's go do something. Like, I need to see my people. I want to go say hi to people. Like, go see my now friends that I've made from vending and different things like that. Like, I've had even just different customers that we've had come back to certain shows just to say, hey, nice to see you again. Like, different things like that. I've had quite a few experiences where someone comes to a show and it's their first show and they immediately are like, what do I do?
Mhm.
Like, help me.
Mhm.
Like, even people being like, here's my binder. I know I brought this to trade, but is this okay?
Mhm.
And just kind of having that experience of, I'm new too, so we're learning together,
Mhm.
but here's what I know. And we
Mhm.
can also grow together and
Mhm.
make those connections and different things. And it's been so fun just being able to, even other females and even other female vendors
Mhm.
who are more shy, more, not that vending is a male dominated field, but it is like 60
Yeah.
40,
Yeah.
I guess. Like it's a little more males than it is females, and being kind of intimidating sometimes, or if someone has a bad day and gives you a bad attitude, you don't really feel great about it. So
Mhm.
being able to come off of those experiences with a positive, or even if someone comes up to our table and is like, oh, I just had a bad experience at this other table, and us being able to, make their day, make it a little bit better, whatever it may be. Especially when people come up and they're like, I've been looking all over all day for this one card. Do you have it? And we do have it. And it's like the best thing. It makes their entire day, week, whatever it may
Mhm.
be. And it's just little experiences like that. Like I wouldn't say there's dead set certain like, oh, this one person I talked to, but it's just kind of
Mhm.
types of
Yeah.
experiences.
It's the little moments that count, for
Yeah.
sure. And I think that that's awesome. What I like how you touched there with like being like when you have like the new people that come in, they're like, oh, I don't know. Like that's something that we've been helping too. Cause also like I think now, ever since like market slowed down a little bit past couple months, right? Now it's obviously back up like really well. But like market slowed down. I think that a lot more people are like feeling the confident to go to card shows in a way, I guess, if you want to say. Like I've seen an influx of a lot of new people, like a lot of new people are coming back to card shows and stuff like that. And it's great. And it's awesome. I think that that's just a great thing. And it's obviously good for the community. It's good for sellers, good for vendors. And I know me and Max, he does this more because I'm mostly like working when I'm at the shows, but he's the one that's there kind of like helping people like with all that type of stuff, helping like with the show inventory and stuff like that. Um, but we've like seen like people with fake binders. We like people something that we've done is we will carry like a little bit, like we'll carry like empty binders because obviously we buy out like lower end collections and stuff like that, and people have them in binders, whatever. But when kids come through with like 3-ring binders, those binders can damage the cards over time if you don't have it in the right way. So we're like, hey, just so you know, this binder, the 3-ring binder, is most likely going to damage the cards. Like if you have it in there for a prolonged period of time because of the rings, etc. But we're like, oh, here we have a free binder for you that we can give, and like doing that type of stuff and seeing their kid like their face light up like, oh my goodness, or you give them like a like a couple cent, maybe $1 like little card like that, and they're like, wow, it's so cool. Like stuff like that is awesome. And I think that's really cool. I like also, and we can talk about it more. But you said obviously being like a female vendor, all that type of stuff. Obviously, I'm a guy, so I don't know that. But how is it like being like a female vendor? I guess like how when you were going into it, like was there anything that maybe concerns you had or something like that? Like how was that bit?
I would say, especially our first couple shows, getting into it, I definitely was still really introverted, and also just given my life experiences was very skeptical.
Mhm.
And not that I didn't want anything to do with it, but I wanted to remain behind the scenes. Like I told
Mhm.
Andrew, I'm totally down. I'm fully supportive of you in this business, whatever you want to do. I can manage the money, I can make spreadsheets, whatever you want, but I don't really want to be the face. I don't want to be interacting with people. And now we've totally flipped that. We're 50-50 on everything. I want to go to shows.
Mhm.
I think I've vended a show by myself too. I can't remember anymore. They all blend together.
Yeah.
But it's very interesting because a lot of the times you either are not taken seriously, kind of taken seriously, but in a way of you're watching the table while your significant other isn't here, kind
Mhm.
of thing. And then there's the people who will just kind of blow you off entirely.
Mhm.
So, kind of being able to have a little bit of a thicker skin, being able to just let people say what they want and kind of ignore it does help, but it's kind of a thing everywhere that you just don't get taken seriously. You get kind of asked, like if someone walks up to the table to me and they have a stack of cards, I'm like, oh, hey, what do you have? Like, are you looking to sell, trade? What is
Mhm.
it? And they're like, oh, well, do you want to do that or do you want to wait for your husband to come back? Like, do you know how to?
Yeah.
I'm like,
Mhm.
yeah, I know what I'm
Yeah.
doing, I
Yeah. Yeah.
promise.
Yeah.
And just kind of little things or people thinking they can take advantage of you. That happens a
Mhm.
lot, especially, I'm sure, even you being a younger vendor, that happens to you.
Mhm.
It's just the way people are. And even talking to other females, just kind of being each other's support in, hey, there's this one person who's maybe being a little too much, in whether that's negativity or trying to scam someone, trying to be a
Mhm.
little touchy, little flirty, whatever it is, and having those moments of, hey, like you need to back off. Like I am
Mhm.
the vendor, I am the business, whatever.
Mhm.
Like you're trying to buy from me. I'm not trying to buy from you.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't be doing this to anyone else, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
I
having those conversations and moments are a little bit rough, but it
Mhm.
happens.
For sure. Yeah, and that's definitely happened to me in a little bit with us being so tiny, and I think it's gone away. Was definitely like that in the beginning, I think, but now that we um, are more, I guess, established in the space, in the at least the local like card scene here in Nashville, like I think people like respect us and they're like, oh, they like, oh, or blah, blah, blah. I'm stuttering a lot. I apologize, but they like know that like, oh, these guys know what they're doing, and like obviously they've had experience. They're manning like a relatively large, like well sized operation. Like they're here to make money and they're here to do business. They're people that we respect. But yeah, and I'm sure that happens all the time. But yeah, yeah, I I get what you're saying, and I think most of the time too is sometimes I think people And I know I've seen this with like other things. Obviously here in Nashville, because I feel like everyone that is at vending a table in Nashville here or in this area wants to be there. Like it's not like you, but I know for some friends of mine or some other people, like they're just like dragging on like their girlfriend or their wife or whatever. And like most of the time it's just like, yo, can you wash the table while I'm using the restroom? So I see like I know why sometimes people can be like that, which is it's rude in a way. But then also like I don't know. I think that first, if they can, if you like, you're saying like, yo, can I buy like, or can I look at it? Then obviously they should be like, oh, this person knows what they're doing. Let me give it to them. But I think that it's just part of the thing. I feel like, and I think no matter what, you're gonna get scrutiny for being a vendor
Oh
because I
yeah.
feel like I think that that's like this being such a collectible hobby, people are going to, no matter what, they're going to be like, oh, you're trying to make money off me trying to build my collection. Like, I think that can always be the argument for like a petty buyer or a petty person that's going to a card show. Like, I know I've experienced that where it's a buyer and they're like, oh, you're just a vendor because you're trying to make money, quick flip. I'm like, no, I've been in Pokemon since I was 8 years old. Like, I'm literally the same as you. I just decided to get up a little earlier and pay it $40 for a table.
Yeah.
And it's just part of the gig. I hate to say it, but it's just how it is.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, I'm sorry for that. I know people, but most of the time, it's because they're not having a good day because they're not finding the card or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Shit. What is your favorite card in your collection or card like Pokemon? I guess I know your favorite Pokemon, but for those at home, what is your favorite Pokemon and why is it your favorite Pokemon?
Well, my favorite Pokemon is Mimikyu. Love Mimikyu.
Guess card, guess Pokemon.
However, my favorite card, which I have this little 4-pocket binder, I currently have 72 copies of the card,
Dang, it's crazy.
is Houndour from Obsidian Flames.
It's crazy.
Which also, it being from the set that I first ever opened, is just perfect. But it's my favorite card. I call it the trash puppies. I love animals, dogs especially, and especially now being a dog owner, having a card that just kind of reminds me of him, especially when I'm at shows where he's not there. It's just nice.
Mm-hmm.
And
cool.
being an artist, I just love the art, especially cards that are the full arts, ARs, SIRs, whatever they're called from whatever era. Just how beautiful they can be and just appreciating that aspect of it all.
Yeah. That's cool. I love, and I think that's anything with any card game is I love like all Pokemon art. Like I love a lot of Pokemon art. Obviously, there's some cards like this. Like this is like obviously not a good card. Like that art, that's just like completely computer generated or something. But then you have like stuff like this, which I love. Like this like little guy right here.
Oh yeah.
Like I love like Pokemon. I think it's so weird because it transcends so many different boundaries. Like it's like art, it's collectibles, it's an asset, it's it's a billion different things.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it is what it is. It's great. And it's really cool. So I think that's really cool. That's great. But what you said you like that card just because like the art and like the trash puppy. I don't have a card like that. I wish I did because like I know there's a lot of people that will just like buy a bunch of one card. There's a couple arts that I love that I would do that within like the past couple of years that I just like really like the art. But most of the stuff that I like is like older, like it's not vintage, but it's like older mid era, XY mid era, like I said before, and that's kind of a little more expensive just to hold a bunch of those copies. But there are certain sets that I like. I really like the what is it? I like the trainer gallery set. Those are really cool. The Galarian gallery sets. Those are also really cool. But that's awesome.
Brilliant Stars is the best set to ever exist. Hands down.
Oh, yeah, I agree with that.
All the trainer galleries, all the Mimikyus.
Yes.
It's a perfect set.
No, that's fine. I that's a valid point. Have since buying that card, was it like has it gone up in value, down in value? Because like so with collecting, you said you had 72 of them. Like that's obviously if it's a dollar card, then it's like 72 bucks. But I know that's not a dollar card. But like has it like appreciated, depreciated? Like how is it holding that, or are you just collecting it just to collect it?
I'd say it's from my first ever copy I bought, gone down. But the first ever copy I bought was in like September. So when everything was really inflated.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd say now it's just kind of evened out. It's at what I think is the correct value of the card. So when I first bought it, the first copy I ever bought was 15. Now it's sitting around like 5, 6, 8 on a really good week, which I think is a pretty
Valid.
It's a valid price, especially for the set and what comes out of it.
Yeah.
So it's technically depreciated, but most of the copies I bought when it was like $5, I think there was only like 2 copies, 2 or 3 that I bought when it was 10 and up, thankfully. But
that's cool. And that's valid. And that's the crazy thing about Pokemon is like when you're buying stuff, it's going up and down all the time. But that's interesting. I excuse me, sorry, I drank LaCroix, I'm like bubbly. But that's cool. So you bought that, so yeah, September that would have been fluctuating, but that's interesting. So you have 72. Did you fill up the whole binder?
No, it is 160 pockets.
So you still have like 90 ones to go. It's crazy. It's crazy. That's very interesting. Do you have like since you're buying that card, do you when you go to shows and people have that card, do they come to you automatically? Have you noticed that, or is it kind of like just when it stumbles, it comes around, it comes around?
The first couple shows I went to when I first started the collection, it was very much. I even had a couple vendors who were looking for the card for me and would bring it to me like, oh, some guy came up and wanted to trade for me, so here I got it in on trade. That kind of thing. And even, which is really nice and crazy, as vendors like being able to say, oh, hey, you really like this card, I got it in on trade, so I got it in at 80%, you can just have it. That kind of thing. Or even because, oh, I got it in on trade, just give me like $1, give me $2, whatever. And calling that fair, calling that even. And I haven't had customers come up to me with that card specifically, like, oh, I brought these for you. But I have definitely had vendors who are on the lookout for them. And if I don't see them between a couple shows, at the next show I seen them, it's, hey, I found like 10 copies while I was at other shows. And then I just buy them off them and put them in my little Dragon Shield sleeves and in my binder.
There you go. That's awesome. I think that's really cool. That's again like what I love about being part of the vending community, because it's kind of like a sub community within like Pokemon. I think, being a Pokemon vendor, I feel like a lot of people that understand what vending is, like they understand the struggle, then like it becomes like tight knit. And I think that's really cool, especially like if oh, you have this thing, this card, or like for example for me, like I buy a lot of low end slabs, like people are like, oh, Rocco buys low end slabs, send those to him, like all that stuff, and helping each other out I think is like a really good part of the vending community. That's awesome. Yeah. Something I always like to ask all our people that hop on the podcast is, for me, is I call what was your first Charizard moment. But essentially what it means for me, what was like the defining moment for you when you're like, oh, I want to start vending, oh, I want to do this? Like, was there a card that picked up, a deal that you did that you're like, oh wow, I love this, like, and I want to do this? I know you said Collecticon Atlanta, you kind of like that kind of defined for you, like, oh, I want to like continue vending and I want to keep on trying this out. But like, is there like a defining like deal or thing that you remember that stands out in your head that it was like, oh, this is something that I want to do?
Oh, definitely. And yeah, Atlanta was definitely more of like solidifying for me, I want to take this seriously. But even just the whole vending of, I want to continue this, because I definitely before, maybe while I was trying to kind of forced myself to be extroverted.
Mhm.
I didn't love it, so I kind of was like, do we have to go to a show every single weekend?
Mhm.
But at I think it was one of the nationals last year. Andrew was buying singles. It was like the last day of the show,
Mhm.
and so he normally, like, when we go and buy, whichever one of us is going to go walk around to buy, we'll leave some change with the other person. And so he had left me with like $300 in change, took the rest to go buy, and someone walked up to the table with a case of slabs that were more expensive than I had ever seen in my life, which at the time was like $500 slabs.
Yeah.
Which I was like, he was like, "Oh, well, I see you have," it was a PSA 10 Tyranitar. No, not Tyranitar. So the Groudon, where he's like by the volcano. And then
Yes.
that
Here,
was a
let me pull
PSA
it up.
10. And
Let me
then we
pull it up.
had we did have a Tyranitar slab that he wanted. It was like a vintage slab, which I have a picture of that deal because it was my first ever like solo deal.
Oh, there you go.
I had done it completely by myself. I had stuck to our percentages. I had comped everything. Like, we agreed on prices.
This card,
And
right?
yes, that card.
Cool. All right, continue your story.
And it was just kind of like, for me, like, I can do this. This is because I was definitely nervous. It was a lot of money for me to be playing around with, and wanting to obviously get a good deal, but also kind of being like, I can
Mhm.
stand my own, I can run the table, I can buy at a good percentage, and also getting to tell Andrew when he comes back to the table, like,
Mhm.
look what I did.
There you go.
Like,
Yeah.
kind of giving myself the confidence that I
Mhm.
needed to kind of look back and say, oh, I am capable of this. Like, I don't need to second guess myself. I can stand my own, and I don't need to like not look down on it, but
Mhm.
I don't need to kind of dread shows every
Yeah.
weekend. I can have an excitement to it. I think that is also what helped me be more extroverted,
Mhm.
is I was able to do it by myself. I was able to not get taken advantage of. I was able to be taken seriously and not
Mhm.
have that kind of like second guessing voice in the back kind of thing.
Yeah,
And
for
so
sure.
that definitely solidified my I want to be a vendor.
That's cool. I think like what you said about kind of like forcing you to be extroverted. I mean, because like if you think about it, vending like puts you in that situation where you have to meet people, you have to talk to people. No one likes the vendor that's just sitting there on their phone, right? Like you have to be active in order to get deals, right? And you have to do that, which is it's great. It's part of the thing. Excuse me. Me being a more extroverted person has for sure like helped with that. But I know shows like at the end of the show I'm exhausted, and I can only imagine how it is for y'all. So like not y'all. I don't want to say y'all, but for introverted people, that's what I meant. But like it can be exhausting. Like being there for 6 to 8 hours, make 12 hours. If it's like a collecticon or something, like 12 hours up to 12 hours. Like that's a lot of time, and you have to be like on top of your game the whole time because if you mess up a comp, if you give someone a little too much money, like that's on you. Maybe you mess up a percentage and you get a potential customer mad or a trade buyer mad. You're like, oh dang it, why did I do that? Like all that type of stuff is going to happen, and I think it like forces you to be it, but that's what makes it great. Like I have times where I like messed up a comp so bad. I don't want to talk about it. But it was like it's part of the thing, and I think that that's cool and that's awesome that it's like helped you like kind of get out and like extroverted. That's really cool. And I never guess I really thought about that until now. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, especially when like having Atlanta be my first ever card show. Kind of seeing that it wasn't just about shiny cardboard.
Mhm.
It's also the art. It's the people who make the art and then go to these shows and sell their art on like posters, which I have some in my office, and
Mm-hmm.
making stickers. I have a huge sticker collection. That's like my
Mm-hmm.
number one thing I collect is stickers. And even like 3D printing people. Like I have so many 3D prints, or like
Yeah,
this is a piece of amethyst that someone carved into Gengar,
it's crazy.
and just different things like that. And it's a lot more than I ever thought it was.
Mm-hmm.
And being able to see all the different kinds of people, and then you do come together and get that community. And even like at my job where I work, I didn't, obviously starting a new job, you don't really know anybody. But someone came in and was wearing an Eevee hoodie, and I was like, "You like Pokemon? I sell Pokemon." Like that's just our ground point of jumping off of starting
Mm-hmm.
conversations. And like she specifically only plays the Pokemon games, and like
Mm-hmm.
that's how she knows Pokemon. So she doesn't really do the cards or anything,
Mm-hmm.
nothing like that. So we don't exactly connect on that level, but it's still, who's your favorite Pokemon? You know, she'll come in and be like, I caught this many shinies over the weekend. Like, this is what I've been doing. And I can be like, oh, we went to a show and we made this much, or sold this card and got this card in, and different things like that. And just having those conversations and connections that are more than just the cardboard.
Mm-hmm. No, I think that's really cool. And that's awesome. That's that for you like has, like you said, like I said, it's like a networking opportunity. Like it's like cool to meet people and having that like basis, like nothing else matters really. Is like, oh, you like Pokemon, I like Pokemon, that's great. Let's talk Pokemon cards, or Pokemon in general. Like it's really cool. And that's awesome. And that's I definitely had I guess I had that less because like obviously go to school. Like I see the same people all the time. It's a little less than that, but I've had those situations too. And like for example, Max, he's my best friend, right? We've met, through Pokemon, and I would have never met him if it wasn't for Pokemon. And now I have like someone that I consider like a business partner, a friend, my brother, like all this type of stuff. And it's like that would have never happened if it wasn't for Pokemon, like, and it's great. I would have never been the opportunity that I have, like if it wasn't for Pokemon. So I think that's really cool, and that's great for y'all. I Yeah, that's really cool. How so you being like obviously helping you be more extroverted, has that helped you like in the real world outside of Pokemon, you would say? Like has there stuff that you've taken from vending and taking it into like, your work or like all that type of stuff, like applying it into a real world as I don't want to say real world because Pokemon is obviously a world, but you know what I mean? Like
Yep.
taking it outside of the Pokemon world, and applying it, like has that helped you in certain ways?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, even just in having to vend and having to count cash at the end of every show, having to relog our inventory, like what did we sell, what do we still have, what did we pick up, how much did things sell for. Like I've had to create a whole Excel sheet that
Hmm.
I update as we're at the shows, of like, I have this card in my inventory, I bought it for this much on this day, it sold at this show on this day for this much. And then that all at the bottom has a total number of whether we're in a overall positive or
Hmm.
negative kind of thing. And having to kind of teach myself those skills, and then being able to go into work and say like, okay, we need a new organization system, here you go. Like I can totally pull all that. And even just in becoming more extroverted, it has helped me, like obviously in life, because now I can go to the store and have an interaction with someone without freaking out internally.
Hmm.
I can even like do those solo deals. I can watch
Hmm.
the table for hours, whatever it may be, like that the last Lebanon show when Andrew wasn't feeling good, so he had to go sit in the car for a little bit.
Hmm.
And I kind of was just on my own for a majority of the show, and it was for me a little bit not shocking, but at first it was like, okay, like this is what you're in charge of. You need to pay attention to it all. Like, don't let anybody steal anything, obviously, but also don't turn people away just because
Hmm.
you're not comfortable in what you're doing.
Hmm.
And so having to kind of give myself that self-confidence and finding that again, which
Yeah.
I've had a crazy life, crazy past. And so being able to come out of these experiences as, in the end, a better person, and even in the end, coming out of these shows in a better standing in my relationship.
Hmm.
Like Andrew and I have had a conversation many times about how vending has helped us, like, yes, financially, yes, in a like side hustle way, but also more so in ways of we've connected more, we've gotten closer,
Hmm.
and just kind of overall, I guess, being more of a better person, like being more well-rounded.
Yeah, no, I think that that's great, and like I think for me, like that is at the end of the day, like what Pokemon is like on the cover on the the if it was like an iceberg or whatever, like it's like just a children's card game, right? Or collectible, but like at the bottom, it teaches you so much stuff. Like I think that it offers such a good way, like you said, like you're learning more about yourself. You're learning how, if you start vending, you're learning how you deal with money, right? Are you going to sacrifice, profits to invest in yourself, or are you going to blow it on, whatever you want to blow it on? And I think that it's like such a great area and a great thing to like learn as a person, and then also like if you want to build a business off it, has a great business platform, like it's super easy to start building a business off it, like all this type of stuff. And I think that that's awesome, and that's what is, um like a lot of people don't see when like you just look at Pokemon at the surface. It's like the world's largest IP. It's like it's all this crazy stuff. It's really like something like Pokemon shouldn't really exist, but it does, and it's not going anywhere. And I think that that's just such an amazing thing and such a really cool thing. It's opened my eyes to a lot of things. Like you said, it's helped you become a better person. It's helped me become a better person. And it's like it's really cool, because beyond what just the base layer, like Pokemon, what it truly is, I think it's like a mini, it's its own world.
It
It's really
is.
really cool. It's really really cool. It functions in its own way. It's weird. It's interesting. Um, yeah, that's awesome. What are what are like I guess like what are some of your favorite, or I guess we kind of said that. But what are like some things that you look forward to when you're going to like card shows, I guess. Like you said you love going to card shows. If you don't have card shows, like I love like every weekend, I'm like what's the card show? But obviously this weekend there's none because of snow, which makes me very sad. But like what are things that like you look forward to when you go to a card show?
I
Besides like
think
me, yeah. Well,
I
sorry.
think it definitely depends on each show.
Hmm.
Like obviously the Lebanon show. It's a little bit farther away for us than some of the other shows we do. So to us it's okay, we're going to like an area we normally aren't in. And
Hmm.
so we also kind of see it as our date nights. Like,
Hmm.
okay, after the show, we're going to go out to eat. We're going to go try somewhere new. We're going to take our time getting home, have fun. Like, yes, debrief from the show of how we think it went and
Hmm.
everything like that, but also spending that time together, and even just being a couple that loves music, being
Hmm.
able to be in the car and listen to music all the time. Like, that's our number one thing, especially with shows being on the weekends.
Hmm.
Normally, Saturday morning when we're headed to the show is when we listen to our release radar on Spotify.
Hmm.
Like, okay, here's our new songs for the week. And then we sit there and, okay, who do we think this song is by? What's our opinions on it?
Hmm.
Like, let's kind of debunk each little thing. And then even just looking forward to seeing other people getting there and setting up, seeing who we're next to, seeing, like, okay, at local shows, yes, we know most people, but other shows like the ones in Nashville that are the weekend shows and have
Mhm.
people come in from other states, like, okay, now we're next to someone who we've never met before. Being able to then network, talk to that person, and just have those little one off moments. And it's not just about what are we going to sell? What are we going to buy? How much cash do we need to bring? How much cash do we need to bring back? Whatever it may
Mhm.
be. It's more than that. It's even gotten to like where going to shows on the weekend is, in a way, our vacation because it's our
Mhm.
break from the real world. Like you said, Pokemon is its own world. It really is. It's our, we're going to go to this show and we are so busy with everything. We don't have time to look at our phones. We don't have time to watch the news, whatever it may be.
Mhm.
It is just, this is our bubble for the weekend and we're going to be here. And it's kind of like ignorant bliss for the
Yeah.
next 10, 12 hours, whatever it may be.
Mhm.
And then before we have to go back to work, whatever. It's just a nice little break.
Yeah, for sure. And I agree with that. And I think that that's really cool having like your little traditions. Like, for example, Max and myself, now there's a spot that we pretty much are going to eat at like every time after Lighthouse and Nationals and stuff. It's Baja Burrito. It's a little place in East
Oh, we
Nashville we
love
love.
Baja Burrito.
Yeah. Yeah. It's such a good place. But literally, like, me and Max, we call almost every night and we're talking like either about business or we're just hanging out, just having a good time building that connection. And we'll be like, I think it was on Tuesday we were calling, and we were talking, right? He's like, all right, so after Lighthouse, what are we eating? And I was like, I was like, I don't know, what do you want to eat? He's like, I want Baja Burrito again. I'm like, all right, cool. So I guess we'll just go there.
Yeah.
It's just like building those like little things. And like you said, like the little things that count and it kind of being your break. Obviously, for me, I'm trying to build a business, all this type of stuff, right? School is okay. I don't have like a ton of friends at school, but Pokemon allows me to like kind of, like you said, like take a break from all that and push that away. Be like, okay, I'm focused on here. I'm locked in doing deals, making money. I'm making friends. I'm having a good time. We're laughing, joking, all this type of stuff, and it's really cool. It's really great. But yeah, I agree with that. What you said 100%. And making those like little traditions, I think, also help coaches a lot. That's really cool. Oh, excuse me. So January's almost wrapped up. What are some of y'all? Obviously, New Year ish, I guess, if you still want to call it New Year, whatever. Technically, it's a new year. What are some of? I know you guys said like in 3 years, you guys want to buy a house, which is really cool. I hope, like, I know you guys are going to do it. It's going to be great. It's awesome. What are some other goals that you guys have for, I guess, ritual hits in 2026?
So for us, which just kind of goes back to our end of the year meeting, because what we have started doing is typically last Saturday of the month, we will go out to dinner or lunch, whatever it may be, and put everything aside. And it's, yes, you are my husband, but right now you are my business partner.
Mhm.
We are having a legitimate business meeting. We're not talking about life. We're not talking about the family, the house, jobs, what's going on. It is, what did we do for the business? How far did we come? How far did we maybe grow? Whatever it may be.
Mhm.
And me being a very OCD person, I take notes and then I have a Google Doc where I kind of document everything. Like, this day we had this meeting and this is what we discussed. These are our outcomes of what we want to
Mhm.
see. And so we had that meeting at like New Year's Eve, I think, of what do we want this next year to look like. And so for us, it is, we want to vend more
Mhm.
because, yes, last year we did just start vending. So we weren't as serious, but we definitely still had a lot of shows. And so we want to have most weekends booked, obviously take a couple weekends off here and there to not get burnt out. And then different things of like, how far do we want to grow our social media? How much do we want to be posting every week? On what platforms? What inventory number do we want to be at the end of the year? That kind of thing of, and even smaller goals of we want to upgrade our cases to Zions by the end of the year, which is not much to most people, but to us, it's like that's $400 for cases. It's its own goal. It's its
Yeah.
own thing, and like we have my brother-in-law is printing us risers for our cases, so
Yes.
that was one of our goals. It was we need to sit down and have that conversation and get risers made.
Mhm.
So now those are in the works. We have I've been working on a design for possible merch. We want to do like what are they called? Pump covers, like the gym shirts,
Mhm.
that kind of thicker material,
Mhm.
and just make it so it's not necessarily like ritual hits, but more like yes, our logo will be on it, but it's not prominent. It's not like
Mhm.
it is like slapping your logo on a t-shirt like
Mhm.
any other place does. We want to make it almost more of a clothing line.
Cool.
So we have that goal, and other than that, I don't even remember right now what our other goals are, but it's a lot of just growth. And even like at the end of every show, I have a separate spreadsheet of like, this is what show we went to on this date. This is how much cash we brought with us. This is how much our inventory was worth at the beginning of the show. And now, end of show, this is how much cash we have. This is how much digital we have. This is what our inventory is worth now. And kind of being able to track that number and see on a week to week basis how
Yep.
it's doing. That way, then at the end of the year, we can look back and say, okay, overall, we did good, but maybe here's where we fell. How can we improve that? If it was a show issue, if it was a weather issue, then we know, like, okay, we have potential here. It just needs to
Mhm.
maybe not be snowing this weekend and things can happen.
Yeah. No, for sure. I love that. And that's for me, like me and Max have had that conversation where we're sitting down, like, okay, definitely bigger goals for us is content, more content, and just doing more shows, going more volume, doing more collecticon, buying more cards, scaling more businesses, doing more spreadsheets, all that type of stuff. Personal goal for me, I need to get more organized, like with money coming out, money coming in systems, because kind of I just like watch my bank account rise every week or fluctuate, and it's like I don't really know how much money I'm making, but it's whatever. And most because of that is I don't really have to do taxes yet. And probably I know once I start doing taxes, then it's like, damn it, I need to, start locking in on this.
Yeah.
But we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Oh, yeah.
But that's really cool. And I think that another thing that I love about what you guys said is like having a partner like in this, like a business partner, like really like gets it, like iron sharpens iron type thing, and like really pushes you. Like I remember within the first month that me and Max were working together, I had grown so much more than the past like couple months I had done it by myself, and it was just because I had that kind of accountability where I was like, okay, let's just like we're bashing each other, like you're like I go farther, go, and like we're just like building up, and it's like really cool. And I love what you said, like the little goals too, like having Zion cases. For us, it was like like, okay, let's try as hard as we can to get 2 tables now. Okay, cool. Now we hit that. Okay, now we're gonna buy an overhead banner for us instead of having the back banner, and like like all this type of stuff that we're like making sure, like the very tiny, small things that like do matter, and like are really cool. And it was like, okay, like let's try to get as many cases as we can. Let's try to do all this type of stuff. And when you hit it, it's like, oh my gosh, we did it. Like Max, I remember I told him, I was like, I think we need like 2 tables now. He's like, yeah, I think so too. I'm like, bet, let's do 2 tables. And just all that type of stuff is great. And when you're in motion and like all that stuff is happening at the same time, it's so cool to like, it's great to like move with it, but like sometimes it's awesome to just like take a step back and be like, dang, like we're actually doing it. And then I think it's like really, really cool. That's awesome for you guys, and I want to make some merch too. Mostly probably like slap logo on a t-shirt type thing because I'm not like that talented merch wise, but I definitely want to do some things. So
I'm an
that's really
artist.
cool.
I made our logo.
Yeah. Yeah, I can probably hit you all up on
Just
that.
saying.
Yeah, and if you guys don't want your cases, we'll probably take those once you guys transition to Zions.
Yeah.
They're really cool. Zions are really cool. I need to fix our risers because our risers are weird. I need to like cut some in half so that I can like actually like insert it in a section. But no, I think that's really cool. But yeah, that's awesome. What I don't know. Do I have anything else? Is there anything else you want to say? Anything you want to add? I was gonna ask for your goals. Well, first, is there anything that you want to say? Anything pressing that you want to talk about?
I mean, I'd say if anyone watching is hesitant on going to a show or maybe voicing their interest in Pokemon
Mhm.
and even any other thing, even magic, crystals, 3D printing, whatever it may
Mhm.
be, just do it. A lot of these communities are so much nicer than maybe they appear to be. And I know, especially as vendors, like we're a little bit to blame for that. And I know in the morning, if you come into a show, I'm probably not smiling because I'm still waking
Yep.
up and haven't had my coffee yet.
Yeah.
But I promise you, I won't bite. And it's all okay. Like, I've had a couple people walk up to me and be like, oh, this is my first show. Like, I thought it was going to be a kid dominated field, or I thought it was going to be like just cardboard, but there's art and there's people like the vendors who make like keychains and hair clips and different things like that, and getting a lot more reach than you originally thought.
Mhm.
Like, just don't be scared. It is so much nicer than anything else. And even myself, I can say that, like being an introvert and being someone who was scared to talk to other people, walking in a room and seeing, like at Atlanta Collecticon, walking in a room and seeing 30,000 people was nerve wracking. But then walking up to my first table and people wanting to see your binder, what are you collecting? Like, being able to have that like welcomeness.
Yeah, for sure.
It's there, and it's even in places that you wouldn't think it is.
Yeah.
Like being in, I know I've been to shows where I'm like, this area seems not so great, but then
Mhm.
you walk through the doors and it is the best little community you've ever seen.
Yeah.
You just have to make it through the doors first.
Yeah,
It's
for
getting
sure.
there.
For sure. And I think that that's so true. And that was actually going to be my next question is like, what would be your piece of advice? But no, just like pull up, like just go to shows and like do all these, like a lot of these guys are chill. Like a lot of us are chill. We're not vendors. Like we're not sharks. Well, some vendors are sharks, but we're not sharks. But like just have fun. And do like just have a good time. And it can be overwhelming, but literally this is everyone's first time doing it. Everyone's gonna mess up. No one's gonna, you know, yeah. Some people are gonna be meaner than others, or maybe not as nice, or what I don't know, whatever the thing is. But that's just I don't want to say it's part of the gig, but I mean it's like it is how it is. Find your people,
Yeah.
and have a good time. Yeah. What ask your goals. Oh, what's the next show that you guys are going to be at?
This Saturday we will be at the Springfield show, and then next weekend we will be in Atlanta.
Nice. Springfield. What show in Springfield?
It's just called like the Springfield
Is that the
Cards.
one that I went to that one time?
Yes,
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, that one's like a little farther for me, so I
it
don't
is.
know if I'll be able to make it. Yeah, but
Our
that's
roads are
cool.
decent, but
Our roads are
getting
chill
here is
here.
the hard
Like,
part.
yeah, our roads are chill, but that's anyway. That's cool. Well, I don't know. I don't really have anything else. I hate to cut it like short. I feel like it was a very short podcast, but I don't know if that is what it is. Thank you everyone for watching. I know this was a different type of podcast. This will probably go out on Friday, so tomorrow. I would say today, but I think it's going to be a little too late for I have some Wi-Fi, so it takes forever to upload stuff. But this will probably go out on Friday.
Awesome.
Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, comment, follow, subscribe, do all that stuff. Check. Oh, where can people find you? Oh my goodness, that is what I needed to ask. Yes.
So our socials are all at Ritual Hits. That is the business pages, and then my personal is at Miss Nufaru, which you follow me, so you know how to spell
Yes.
that.
Yes.
And yeah, which I need to post more. I need to post my arts and stuff.
Awesome. Well, there you go. follow those links. Make sure to follow PokéSells and Cardboard Central and Pulling Packs on Instagram. But that has been the 55th episode of the PokéSells official podcast, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. And we'll catch you guys next week. Peace.